To all my well wishers, to all of the YouTube family, to all of y'all keeping safe, to all of us who are in our right minds and in our right hearts, and our spirit is functioning well, to the homies and homettes. It's your boy John too. I'm not gonna be on here long. I don't have a lot of battery life, but we are under curfew again here in Cbus, Columbus, Ohio. There are protesters in the streets right now, protesting strong, and I, I went down one day, and when I saw the tear gas, that was it for me. Nevertheless, I am not. I think we should stop protesting, uh, but I don't think we should stop boycotting. I think we should boycott more than protest because you're walking, they see you walking, you're getting your point across, you're slowing down traffic, you're doing all that. But unless we hurt the dollar, I just think they just don't care. They're just waiting until it's over, because protests on a whole, they just don't last that long. People don't have the energy. Well, what's really beautiful about this protest is it's during. How you doing? This protest is during quarantine, so people have nothing but time. Once again, I think the whole thing is a setup. I think that the government, put all the pieces together to make this happen. And I and a bunch of other people across America believe the same thing, that we are going to have martial law. We're pretty much there now. It's just, one more, you know, it's just one more piece, you know what I'm saying? Rook takes, pawn or whatever. It's just, knight to pawn seven, whatever. Anyways, so like I said, it's ridiculous, and there is a police presence here that is watching. I've seen them in our neighborhood. I saw fire truck coming through also. And believe it or not, even though people think that, oh, how much authority does the fire marshal or people have? They have authority. They carry guns. Trust and believe. They have authority. I don't know if they can arrest you, but I know that yeah. And I respect the fire department, but don't take them lightly. They can give you the business, okay? They don't have the authority to arrest you or nothing, but you know they can give you the business. I don't take none of them lightly, especially I actually know one, especially the stuff that they do to stay in shape. Good grief, they're no joke. They're strong. But yeah, so this curfew is no joke. It's not really hurting me because I can get all my business out there. I don't have a woman, and all that, to where she needs to be over here. I need to go over there, and all this stuff where I need to worry about what's going on with her, and get out in the middle of the night. I don't have those issues. I don't have kids and stuff like that. It's just me, so it doesn't hurt me at all, really. Um, but it hurts to think that I can't get in my car and drive it down the street at 10:01. That bothers me, and it should bother you. Listen, and not as an American, as just a human being. You're not a gerbil. You know what I'm saying? You should be able to jump in your car and drive down the road. But even before the lockdown and curfew, you still do that. You still take a chance of getting harassed and murdered, obviously. That's a thing. I don't have the energy to fight with people trying to explain to me about, all the white people who died and all the black people died, make a comparison. There's really very little comparison at all. And once you get the numbers right and understand them, you'll understand that it's bad for us, it's bad for especially black men. I live this life. I have this skin. So nobody can convince me that what is happening to black men out there isn't really happening. Black men, women, and children, but especially black men, were targeted. You can't convince me that it's not happening because I live it every day. I live in those fears. I understand that anything can happen to me and the police will be justified. I understand that my life can be taken away and the police will go on vacation. I understand that 100%. It is no longer a shadow of a doubt of how black people are treated. There's just no more. Like you can't convince me of nothing else. So you're wasting your time over here. I'm not trying to hear it. Uh, yeah, you're wasting your time with me. I'm not trying to hear it. Uh, Big ups to uh, the people in Chicago for squashing that beef that was brewing over the neighborhoods. So big ups to the guys who went down there and settled that because that could have spilled over and got bad, real bad, between the Dominicans, or excuse me, the Hispanics and the blacks. That could have been another war that neither one of us needed. But they've been at war before. They've been at, turf wars, before. For one reason or another, we've been clashing with them for the longest. So I'm glad that, some people went in there and handled that. Some brothers went in there and was just like, nah, that energy you got, there's going to be 100 of us marching here and it's going to be something. So, cooler heads prevailed. So I'm glad they squashed all that because I know you guys remember House of Pain. Jump up to get down. Is that House of Pain? Yeah. Well, they had an issue. They're Latino, and they had an issue with a black rapper. I don't know which one he was. Well, Mexico is only across the bridge, and the bad boys called them and say, hey, you want us to come over there and squash that? So they have the numbers. Let's not get it twisted. They have the numbers, and listen, 15 years from now, heck, they'll outnumber everybody in the United States. But black people have been fighting since we've been here. So neither one of us will benefit from that type of war. We just don't want it. We don't want it. Now, to all the white people out there who are Black Lives Matter, white people, and this is all over the world, I, for one, thank you. Most of your young folks understand that. Uh, we appreciate that. And the younger generation, I'm glad that there are white people out there who are in your generation who completely get you, who understand you. I'm happy to see this because it's less of a clash with them. It's just the less fighting, the better, is what I'm saying. But to some of you people out there who don't understand why Black Lives Matter is a thing, well, Drew Brees, I'm not really sure what to tell you. Drew Brees is not, to me, not a man of who's in a position of any authority other than when he's on the football field. Other than that, I don't think about Drew Brees. So asking Drew Brees about, Colin Kaepernick kneeling and, listening to his opinion really just didn't make a difference. But you got Whoopi Goldberg jumped down his neck. And Drew Brees came out with the same thing that people have been saying. And he was talking about, I'm not going to let anybody disrespect the flag. I got, my grandfather and father were both in the military, and, I stand with my hand over my heart and salute the flag, and, and all this other American, rhetoric, and it's like, okay, Drew Brees, if that's how you feel, there's nothing wrong with that. But the problem, Mr. Brees, the problem is Colin Kaepernick did not kneel because of the American flag. Colin Kaepernick wasn't thinking about the American flag. Colin Kaepernick wanted you to know he was kneeling because there were black people dying in the streets who were innocent of any crime, and especially a crime at that time, and they were being slaughtered. They were being brutally slaughtered in the worst way. And it's still happening. Colin Kaepernick is half African American, half white. He could have shut his mouth and kept going. Some people look at Colin Kaepernick as, oh, you just did it just for just for political reasons. I never looked at it like that. I don't know how much money he's getting. I know people donate to him, but if that's the agenda, if that's what's going on, listen, that's between them. I'm not gonna sit here and oh, you had an agenda. I don't care. I don't get that deep into it. All I know is he knelt. That's what I know. He knelt for people like me who are getting their ass kicked by the police. He knelt. And that was good enough for me. If he's getting money from it, I don't care. I don't care. Because there are people out here doing all kind of crazy stuff and they're getting money from it. And they're criminal and they're white. Okay? So I don't care. So I just wanted to say that. He jumped down Drew Brees' neck, and I don't think you should have jumped down his neck. I don't think somebody should throw away his T-shirt. I don't believe in none of that. I think somebody needs to have a conversation with him and other people so they'll understand that Colin Kaepernick never disrespected the flag. It was never about the flag. It was never about the anthem, even though the anthem is screwed up. But it was never about that. It was simply police brutality. And he knew that he was on the biggest stage in the world. So he knelt to display, listen, something is wrong here. Now, if he knelt when the game was already going on, nobody would have cared. That wouldn't have been a statement. I tell you who was corny that came out and knelt was Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis is a corny dude. That is a corny cornball dude to go out there and kneel at that time. Ray Lewis, nobody cares about you. You're not in the NFL anymore. You know what I'm saying? But he goes out there and he kneels and then he says, "Oh, he was praying." That was a cornball move. That was a move for the public to look at me. I'm Ray Lewis. We saw you, Ray. We know who you are. You know what I'm saying? We know you committed those murders. We know who you are, Ray. Everyone knows who you are. Okay? Go on about your business. You're no longer in the NFL. And then he asked to come back. It was like, no, we don't need you back. You're an aged linebacker. We know you were good, but your time is over, Ray Lewis. Listen, no king reigns forever. You went out on the highest note. You won the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? And your team pretty much hasn't. Well, they were pretty good last year, but that was it. Big up Star G3. But that's it. So Colin Kaepernick simply knelt because of police brutality. Had and all these people who make up all this other rhetoric, and then they get Fox News to, and Fox News feeds you all this stuff to get you excited, had nothing to do with disrespecting the flag. I'm a veteran. I don't disrespect the flag. I don't step on the flag. I don't burn flags. I don't do none of. I don't even own a flag. But if I did, I wouldn't do that. I live in America. You know what I'm saying? I know what it is. I love and hate it. I'm like the ring, like the ring of peace, and I'm like Gollum. I love and hate the ring. You know what I'm saying? I love and hate. Well, I love America, but I hate some parts about America. So it is what it is. saying Cap didn't he wasn't after anyone's anyone's military oath or anything like this. And the reason why they went off is because, listen, Stephen A. Smith, I don't really listen to him that much, but every now and then he brings the facts and he does it in numbers. And I like that. Stephen A. Smith said, let me make it plain to you. In 2009, the military paid the NFL $10 million to have a military presence. So you have to, I think it was 2005 or 9 or something like that. I mean, the whole Pat Tillman story. Listen, all of that was propaganda. They killed Pat Tillman for propaganda. Our military killed our own military man for propaganda. If you don't believe me, go and listen to the story about him. Listen to what his mom says, and listen to all the people who were there, and they were just like, "Yeah, we fired upon him." They gave us two different orders. They sent Pat Tillman and his Humvee in one area, and then they had another in a higher position, and they told them the enemy was Pat Tillman, and they fired down on him. Okay, they killed Pat Tillman. Our own military killed Pat Tillman because he played in the NFL. They wanted a presence. They wanted a poster child. They wanted a reason for you to go and fight. They wanted you to be angry about something that they did. It was all a lie. You know what I'm saying? The military presence. Why is the military on the football field anyway? Every game, the military is present. Why? Propaganda, so they can draft you. Okay. So let's just get it right. There's a whole game being played here, and Cap he wasn't even thinking about all that. But all of that is inclusive. All the military activity, Pat Tillman in 2002, all of that is inclusive. It's a whole military presence that they want, and it's all about that oil money. All right, it's all about that oil money. All right, let's switch gears because I don't have much time. So I started my preparation for 6 months. So you should too. Um, I got some more food. Uh, I'm gonna go get some more pretty soon. And I've been looking at places to spend my money and on what. So here's so if you don't have a list, first you need to start knocking off your list. Uh, get yourself an extra refrigerator or an ice box. Something to freeze your food, freeze your meat. I have too many refrigerators, but I have an extra refrigerator, so boom, that's checked off. Also, get yourself some equipment so you can survive in the winter. Sleeping bags and things along that line. You should start checking that list off, and just gradually get it. Gradually get it. You should have medical stuff. Medicines and just stuff you can get over the counter. You should start stocking up on that. Soaps and things like that. You should start stocking up on that. Start cutting coupons too. I need to start getting the paper so I can use coupons. Helps out a lot. Um, so you should start stacking things that you casually think about, but now you should start thinking about them in the long run. If the store is closed, what will happen? Now, one reason why this is so important is because they burned Target. They burned down a bunch of Walmarts. They burned these places. So if Target decides to close, Walmart decides to close, Giant Eagles, Kroger's, Winn Dixie, whoever, Piggly Wiggly, if these places decide to close, where are you going to get your stuff to eat? So they can easily do that. Or it can be taken over. Now where are you going to eat at? Where are you going to get your next meal? Where are you going to buy your next dinners from? Because they can easily close the restaurants. They've done that pretty much. So you got to start thinking like that. if the military came in and closed all of these, restaurants and closed all of the supermarkets, of course you're going to riot. Of course you're going to be in the street angry. But if you had some food saved up, then your number one position is going to be guard the food. Guard the food that you have. If you can't go get any food, you should have food because somebody's coming for yours. Let's get this straight. Your neighbor can go from being your friendly neighbor to an enemy real quick. And in desperate time will breed desperate measures. So don't get it twisted. Things can go bad. We're at the tipping point where things can go bad real quick. And you already seen people hogging up toilet paper and they bought all the meat out of the store. I talked to somebody who lives in Texas. She was like, there's no meat in our store. She told me this not even a week ago. So be aware. Be aware that if you don't have 6 months worth of necessities, necessities, then you need to go out and get it, and you need to start doing it now. Don't wait. Start doing it now. Get yourself some fish, save up on fish, save up on frozen goods. Just save up. If you can, get yourself a generator, an electric or gas generator. If you can, get a solar generator, because that's never running out of power. Not unless they, do the matrix on us and block out the sun. So get that. Solar generators are expensive, but some of y'all got money. Y'all ain't all broke like me. You know what I'm saying? Get a solar generator if you can. Uh, because if the, AEP turns a light out, or Ma Bell or whoever it is that's dealing with your electricity, they turn your electricity out, then what? You're waiting on the daylight. Well, you got, what, 8, 9 hours of darkness. So that's the thing. Also, some of those lights that are solar charged and then you can stick them on your wall. I'm gonna go and look at some of those. I've been looking at them online, but I'm gonna go and look at some of those. So all you need is like 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? And they charge all the time. So that's the thing. Water filters. If the water turns off, then what? They turn the water off. What are you gonna do? Because you can't go too long without water. They turn the water off. You can't go to the restaurants. You can't go to the, regular store and get water. Where are you gonna get your water from? You're gonna hope it rains. Then you're gonna be drinking acid water. But not if you filter the water. You know what I'm saying? So if you got water saved up, like I do, but I could always use some more. That's one thing. But it rains all the time, so collecting water is a thing. So that's another thing. Learn how to collect water. It's really not that hard. And I don't mean just put a pot or something outside and then, fill that up. No, you need to, there's water purification systems that don't cost that much, because you might have to travel. You might have to hoof it. If the gas stations are closed, you're on your own. You're on your feet, along with millions and millions of other hungry and starving people who are about to turn on each other at any given second. You know what I'm saying? They're walking around hungry. They want what you have. And you can't be the good Samaritan and share it when there's a limited amount. There's going to be mothers hungry, babies hungry. And you're going to be like, do I give these people I don't know my last? Or do I say no and then watch them, kill off? You know what I'm saying? Those choices are real. That's a real, real thing. Also, have an exit strategy. From your house, where do you think it would be safe to go? I've been thinking about that for a couple of months. And we're talking about from short distance to long distance. So let's just say the Fitz hits the Shan where I'm at. Where can I go? Let's say my car doesn't have any gas in it and I need to huff it. For one, I have a bike. Let's just get that clear right now. I have a bike. My knees hurt pedaling it, but I got a bike. I'll be on that joker. Um, but if I don't have that, I also have a one of them book bags. I can carry my stuff in, but what I really need to do is get a rucksack, an army rucksack. So I'm gonna invest in one of those. And if I gotta Mac it out, I would be thinking heading up north towards Cleveland. But that would be the longest distance. Well, the longest distance is wherever you need to go, but the short distance would be to an open area, would be heading north of here. Everywhere else, or north and east of here. So, especially northeast. So, that's what I would do to get away from as many people as possible. So, just some ideas, you guys. Have an exit strategy, get your money together, spend your money wisely. Health system, purification systems. Get out here and exercise, stretch. My knees aren't the best anymore, but get out here, stretch, and you know, soak up some of that vitamin D, get some of that self healing going on. Understand that you are the resistance, you are the first responder, but you're not on your own. It's your boy Tom Chill too. God loves you, and so do I.